What up, what up? It's your girl Riz, and we're back with another video. Are you tired of living in the United States of America because you have no idea what the heck is going on? Well, I'm your girl hosting from Sweden. No, let me stop. You here with me? You still here? Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats, boots and cats. I should definitely keep my day job. Okay. Yeah. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my process of how I got my visa to leave the US. And if you are in the US and you're trying to get a visa or a work visa, I guess I'm your girl. Disclaimer, your process is not going to be the same exact, which I'm sure you are aware of. So I will take you through what I did when I got to Sweden. Let's talk about it. I want to let you guys know that my job actually sponsored my work visa, and they helped me with majority of the process. When I do speak about my experience and how I went about leaving the United States, it's going to be different than what you might expect it. So I just kindly ask that if you're from the US, you shouldn't have high expectations. I don't want to say that everything I'm saying is going to be absolutely the way it's going to be for you. The way it happened for me is going to be a lot different than when you go about this process. Please do not get discouraged either. It is a hefty process, but if you're dedicated, then you will put in the work and you will do the research. You won't rely on everything I'm saying. This will be part of your resources that you will use to come to a consensus of what country you should go to, the type of visa you would need. So although my job did handle the majority of the logistics, I have done some research for you. And if you're just listening and watching because you guys are the best, welcome back. I missed you guys. Anyways, let's get into logistics. There's a lot to cover. I want to help somebody. If you're thinking about leaving the United States, I encourage you to think about why you want to leave. People have many different reasons, but they're all valid. Especially what's going on right now. Trust me, I get it. I would want to leave too. I mean, that's why I left. Let's get into why I left the United States and how I did it. In full transparency, I'm not going to lie and sit here and say, yeah, I was looking and actively searching for jobs in Sweden. No, that wasn't the reality. What? Because it wasn't. What really happened was I went on LinkedIn, and there's this option on LinkedIn that if you are trying to look for a job, you can set your status to open to work, but only for recruiters. If you have a LinkedIn and you didn't know about this feature, I'm pretty sure it's in your settings. So that's what I did. I actually wanted to move to Texas. I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna head to Texas. Right? This was my plan. So I started applying to jobs in Texas. But then I got this message from a recruiter who found me, international recruiter from London, and he was recruiting for a few countries in Europe, not just Scandinavian countries. I got this message on LinkedIn. Are you or have you ever been interested in working or moving abroad? If you're interested, contact me and click this link and set some time with me. I was like, this is a scam. But then something said, just click on the link. Just click on the link, schedule some time with this guy, see what this guy's about. We talk. I probably should have said this in the beginning, but a little bit about myself is that I'm now introducing myself. But for some background, I studied accounting and marketing, and then I had a minor in forensics accounting. right after college. I took a little break before entering New York, and I actually worked a little bit in law. So I did estate taxes, paralegal things. I did that for about a year. I worked for one of the big fours in New York City. Big four as in accounting firms, which is global. PwC, EY, KPMG, Deloitte. Yeah, so my background is in accounting. However, I ended up in IT audit, information technology audits, because it was a public firm and we had public clients. They were PCAOB or Sarbanes-Oxley audits. Taking that knowledge that I had in the United States and like my experience with IT auditing, they were looking for something similar here in Sweden. I say this all just to inform you of how I even got recruited in the first place. You know, if you work in consulting, finance, tech, even healthcare, what are other industries? Entrepreneurship even. These are like the main industries where you can apply for a work visa. The employer that I work for now started the visa process for me. Look at international opportunities on LinkedIn. Make sure you have your updated CV, resume, whatever you call it. You're open to work for recruiters, and then recruiters will reach out to you. Don't be discouraged, because there are other visa opportunities that I'm going to talk about a little bit later in the video. There's Nomad, there's study, there's even self-employment visas you can apply for. So I'm going to talk about that, but a little bit later. Right now, I'm strictly focusing on talking about work visas because this is the visa that I have, and the process of what I did and how I got the visa. It was initiated by the employer. They started the application process. They wanted me to start the following January, which was like 2 months. I had 2.5 months to really leave my old life behind, basically, and figure a bunch of stuff out. I do want to say, if your company does not handle it, you can also handle it yourself. Just FYI, I recorded this video 2 separate days. So there's 2 separate outfits, both white though. The work visa that I just described may not apply to you. Then let's talk about the different types of visas that are possible. But you do have to do more research. I can only speak about what I've done thus far in my research excursion. Okay, so just to expand a little bit more on the work visa, in order to apply for a work visa, you first need a job in the country that you want to move to. So in my case, I got a job in Sweden. Once I got the job, that's when the application started for the visa. Even when you apply for the visa, it doesn't automatically mean that you can go move, because there needs to be a background check that is done. So it has to be approved. And the length of time is going to depend on the country, on the background check, the type of visa. In my case, the work visa, I feel like it happened quite expeditiously because, one, I had the employer. The employer was the one who was helping with the visa, so I guess the process went a little faster. But in total, I waited about a month, so 4 weeks. Once my employer initiated my contract with me, stating my salary and my details, it had to be a certain amount in order to show the migration agency that I will be able to sustain a life to live independently. Also to prove, I guess, like, they need to prove that, at least here when they hired me, they had to prove that they needed a foreign worker. Yeah. Once I arrived in Sweden, then I went to get my fingerprints taken down and then register my name and the address that I'll be living at while I'm here in Sweden so that I can get my residence permit. Once I got my residence permit, I was able to go apply for an ID card, identiskortet. I don't know, I tried. But yeah, I registered for that, and that is when I got my personal number, which in the United States is similar to our social security number. So I got my personal number, and then once I got my personal number, I was able to do so many more things. Apply to become a member at a bank, and then once I got approved, I went to go visit the bank so that I can open up a bank account and get a bank ID. And once I opened up my bank account, I got my bank ID and I got Swish. Yeah, life was just a lot more easier with my bank ID. If you're living in the US, a bank ID is like your digital identity. I know when I go to buy things or if I want to make a bank transfer, I need to scan this QR code with my bank ID app and then approve that I'm the one that's initiating the payment, or when I want to purchase something, a transaction occurs, etc. So it's like a digital identification, hence bank ID. Yeah. My work permit is valid for 2 years. Hopefully, if all goes well and they still need me, I have the chance to renew it to stay another 2 years. And then I know that if you live here in Sweden, I don't know about other countries, but I know if you live here in Sweden for 4 years, you can apply for permanent residency. However, I did hear that that is going to change to now 8 years or something like that, 6, 7, 8 years. And on top of that, you have to know Swedish fluently. You don't have to be a native speaker, but you have to fluently speak it. There's a lot that your girl is trying to do so that I can stay. That would be great. And I can stay here longer with you guys. Unless I get married or something, then the process might be quicker. But I just want to make it clear, I will marry for love, not for papers. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so that was the process for a work permit and kind of the ins and outs of what it looks like. Now let's move into the different types of visas that are available to you if you are not a EU EEA citizen. So, hence my fellow Americans. Let's talk about a second type of visa, which I researched, is a self-employment / entrepreneurship visa. I didn't exactly look up which countries this would be applicable to, so that might be something you have to further research, but it is available to EU countries. I'm not really speaking for specific to Sweden, but just specific to countries that are in Europe. I think this is actually an option in Sweden, but also I want you to be aware that there's other countries as well in Europe that you can apply. And I would also recommend researching their economy, because yeah, that idea might sound great to apply for a visa, and then if and when you get approved, going to move to that country. But just to find out the country, it's going to be hard for you to maintain a sustainable life if you don't do your research on that country and the economy, the GDP. So I think that would be a good start. In order to apply for this entrepreneurship, you have to be an active entrepreneur, own your own business, and also make sure you have your business plan for why you're moving abroad, what you're going to do in that country. You also have to prove that you're able to live independently on your business's income. You need to show all documentation of your your passport, your resume, your business documents for your company, proof of funds, your business plan. So these are all things to consider, again, for the entrepreneur slash self-employed work visa. And I'm pretty sure, depending on the country, you would just have to look up their migration agency, the country's embassy or migration agency. And I know, depending on the country, some of their embassies might be available in different parts of the US. For example, I know Washington, D.C., I think there's like a Swedish embassy there. Yeah, and then once you find the website or go to the embassy of the country that you're interested in applying for, once you've done your research for which one you want to get a visa, then you apply and wait for a decision. And depending on the visa, again, you'll have to see how long that's going to take. This is just a summary, high level overview of what will be needed. I'm sure if you do more research, you need to go in depth in some of the steps to see what exact documents you need, where to go, what country, all that stuff. So far we talked about a work visa, self-employment entrepreneur visa. There's another type of visa called the digital nomad visa. And for this visa, I believe when I was researching about it, it's a visa that enables you to work from the United States, but living in another country. So if you're making income in the United States and you want to go live somewhere, I think I researched that there's certain countries that are known for allowing this. It's Portugal, Spain, Croatia, Estonia. These are countries I saw where you can do this digital nomad, where you can still make income. You have to show proof that you're making income, but you also, same process, I believe you'll have to find the embassy of the country that you want to work in, go on their website to see how you can apply for a digital nomad visa. I'm not sure if this is something that is going to be explicit on their site. Maybe you might have to go in person and talk to somebody or call them. I don't know how that works, but I am just giving awareness about what I've researched of the different types of visas that would be available to apply for if you wanted to leave the US. So it is not only confined to just a certain industry and getting your work permit or being a self-employed business owner, entrepreneur, but there is still hope that you can do a digital nomad visa. I don't know specifically for Sweden what that looks like, but that's why I did name, Portugal, Croatia, Estonia. Those are countries maybe you can look into if you do want to go the digital nomad routes, so on and so forth. I know there is also a study visa. I'm not sure exactly how the study visa works, but I know if you apply to come to a country in Europe, you can, depending on the country, you could also stay to find work. Then also I read that there's a retirement/investor visa, and that's also specific to certain European countries that I saw as well, like Portugal, Spain, Greece, which are popular for people who have retirement or investor plans. Yeah, is that everything I wanted to say? I feel like there's more. I feel like there should be more to say about the different types of visas to apply for and stuff if you want to move abroad. I don't really have much else to cover in particular about how else you can leave the United States, because in order to even leave to go to another country or continent, I don't know how other continents work, you need to apply for a visa no matter what. So that is the main step. If I could give any tips for if you're looking to move abroad, I do want to say make sure you have savings, because you don't know the economic situation and what it's going to be like and how long it's going to take for you to open up a bank account. For me in Sweden, it took 4 or 5 months, almost 6, half a year. And also, please, like, as an American, as a fellow American to another American, do not be ignorant to the country that you are moving to. Don't think you're gonna, know everything either when you go. Just have an open mind, an open heart. And honestly, before I moved, I prayed about the move. If you pray, I encourage you to pray about it. It is serious. You're coming to another country, another culture, different people. Depending on the country, they may not even like you because you're an American, or they may make fun of you because you're an American. Just don't have big expectations that if you leave your country, your life is going to change and it's going to be the greatest thing ever, because you cannot run away from your problems. You bring your problems with you, just in a different setting. I just want to let you know that. And yeah, politically, you are moving away from something that may be different. But that's also why I said research the country that you're going to. You want to know all these things. You don't want to just, I'm going to go there. I mean, you could. But, definitely I recommend it. And also make sure you're able to get a SIM card or some type of international phone or something, because I remember leaving the United States and not being able to have a phone for like a week. I'm like, I didn't think about this part, So I was just navigating a country, not really knowing the language, and also not really having a phone to call or contact anyone. Not like I knew anyone to call or contact either. But it can be scary, if you're coming alone. Oh yeah, aside from all the visa talk, maybe you get lucky and you find a husband or a wife, and you move to their country. But I wouldn't recommend that unless you met them in the States and you know them for a while and they plan on moving back to their country or something. I don't know. Just woman to woman and woman to man to man. If any of you guys have anything to add, any advice, any questions, please leave them in the comments below. But what I do want to say is it's almost been a year and I'm preparing for the winter time. And some updates for you guys is that this month, at the end of the month, I will be traveling to Kenya with a group of people from my church that I go to, and also I will be headed north of Sweden. Let me get the name. Ulanger. Yeah, Ulanger. I will be going there on the 18th and 19th. I looked up the population. It said like there's 662 people or something. I was like, whoa, that is really small. Then my cousin is coming to visit. Yeah, so my cousin is coming to visit. And by the way, my cousin is Swedish and American, and her dad is from Sweden. So they're coming to visit because they're actually going to be moving over here. I don't want to put their whole business out, but I will introduce you guys to my cousin. And yeah, she speaks Swedish fluently. So I do have some Swedish bloodline in my family line. So these are things to look forward to. My cousin is coming. I'm going to visit north of Sweden sooner than what I thought. And it is for a youth conference. And then I'm going to be going to Kenya. And also work has been keeping me on my toes as well. As we get into topics like AI governance, Gen AI, and yeah, all the cool things that are going on. Yeah, so if you know a thing or two about AI, let's have a chat about it, because I'm in the process of teaching myself, keeping myself up to date about AI. So it'd be interesting to talk about it, to get perspective on what you guys think, and if you guys use it in your daily lives. What do you use it for? I see even there's AI on my YouTube channel. It like generates a summary of what this video is about, and I was like, what in the world? Did I put this setting on it? Yeah, so AI is everywhere that we look now, you know. But it's important that we don't only rely on it. Oh, duh. I'm pretty sure a lot of people use ChatGPT. I also don't want to become reliant on it, because it is scary that I feel like it's like just taking over people's ability to think, or attention spans. Yeah, so it's good to exercise our minds and not always take shortcuts, even though at the same time we're trying to take shortcuts to save on efficiency and money and have more profitability in a company, all the stuff. That's just to say, if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and definitely let me know what you thought in the comments below. Next week, but the following week, I will do a vlog, and then I will also show my experiences as I'm in north of Sweden, if I get an opportunity to explore a lot. So nice to talk to you guys, and I'm sorry if I seem a little bit tired. The past week has been a lot, but I wanted to remain faithful to you guys, because I love you guys. You guys have been showing nothing but love and support, and you're the best. So that's all just to say, se ves. And I also have been learning Shana or Sha for like, hey Doa. Until next time.